What's up, guys? I'm JJ,
I'm Javier.
and this is PM Football. Today, we have a very special guest with us. It is Nick Saldiveri, offensive lineman of the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, very good friend of ours. Knew him back in our ODU days, so we're very thankful to have him. How are you doing, Sal?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for being here, man.
Love talking to my fellow ODU fellows. Um, yeah, no, it's great. I'm ready to talk ball, talk ODU, talk NFL, talk football in general, talk life. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
No
Awesome.
problem.
Love to hear that, man. Let's start from the beginning. Can you please tell us what your recruiting experience was like in high school?
Recruiting experience was relatively limited. Um, ODU was my first offer, which was pretty sweet. I had some kind of, I came from like a smaller school. Good football where I'm at in Waxhaw, North Carolina. Um, but whenever high school came around, I went from Cuthbertson Middle School to Parkwood High School. Parkwood High School is kind of more in the country towards South Carolina sticks, like that kind of deal. And I was coming from more of like a preppy Vineyard Vines kind of school. So whenever we went over there, it was a whole thing, and parents were pissed. They were really upset, and it was like this whole big deal. When me, I didn't really care. Like I wasn't too attached to the school. I was young. It was it was whatever. But I went over there. There had only been one person to ever go Division 1 and to the league from my school ever.
Nice.
His name was Marcus Leak. He went to Maryland, and then uh, he had, I think he was P squad with the Colts maybe for a little bit. I'm not too familiar with his NFL career. Um, but nobody had really ever done it. Like the whole deal from from my school. So I went there and I played JV football for my freshman and sophomore year, and then my junior year I was on varsity and I played well. And then ODU was kind of hitting me up that junior year, just sending, mail and
Yeah, you probably
stopping
got a
by.
letter from me.
Yeah, I might have.
Yeah.
And then Eric Forrest was the guy who recruited me. He was the guy who came to my school and found me. He found other good offensive linemen or other good linemen in general for ODU. He found Isaac Weaver, Jeremy Miser. Um, I'm pretty sure he found Jeremy, but he found Isaac for sure. And yeah, he came through and chatted with him, just kind of like any other schools. But I ended up going to ODU for a junior day, and I sat down in Chris Malone's office, the
Hmm.
former offensive line coach,
Yep.
and I wasn't expecting to get an offer on this day at all. I was kind of blindly going through the recruiting process. My mom is who raised me, and she didn't know anything about it. Like she was just kind of aiding me and doing what she could. I was doing my highlight tapes, I was putting it out there and all that, but I knew I wanted to play D1, and I sat in his office, and he was like, "What's a reason that I shouldn't give you an offer right now?" And I was like, "I think you should." And then basically that was that. And he was like, I guess he was just screwing with me, but um, got the offer that day, and I was just, I mean, I was obviously happy, but I was kind of like, not in shock, but the way they referred to it was like I had like a stoic kind of reaction. Like I was just like I was just chilling. Like it was cool.
Yeah.
So
You're just,
then,
just a super cool guy.
Super chill
yeah,
guy.
I get just a chill guy, man.
Yes.
Um, and went back to North Carolina, did whatever. I don't remember when the junior day was, whenever they have junior days, whatever time of the year that is. I had gone to a Duke camp, an NC State camp, a Wake Forest camp. Think I did decent or whatever. I think they all wanted to see a senior tape from me before they pulled the trigger on an offer.
Hmm.
Which was whatever. But naively enough, Bobby Wilder was talking to me, and he was like, "We have 3 slots for the offensive line. And whenever they're gone, they're gone. Like we've offered a ton of people when they're gone, they're gone." I'm not sure if it actually works like that or if it doesn't. Um, I don't.
Sometimes.
It
Yeah,
does, however, there's always exceptions. Like obviously, if they really love you, they'll make an exception. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah. He that's what he said. Whenever I talked to him, he's like, "Yeah, we got three. We're taking three offensive linemen in your class, and once those spots are taken, they're taken." Um, so summer came around. I was going into my senior year, and I was just. I loved ODU. Like I loved the area. I loved the school. I thought it had tons of potential.
That's what we
Um,
always say. ODU is a place. No one really realizes it till you're there. ODU has so much potential to be better known than what people are giving it credit for.
there's no doubt, and I saw that from the jump when I was
Hmm.
16. I committed when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
Um, and I thought that I mean it's Division I football. I wanted to go to school for free. And I mean that was what better opportunity than to go to ODU. Like it's Division I FBS football, and that was the only D1 offer I had. And I didn't want the spots to be taken. And yeah, and I loved the area. I liked the people that were there. Um, so I pulled the trigger and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna commit. And that was that. And the plus side of that is I didn't have to do recruiting my senior year. I told my
Mhm.
coach, like my high school coach, that I was good off of it. Um, and basically, if coaches came by, he was like, "Yeah, he's committed. He's a strong commit there," and that's kind of that. So I just got to play ball with my boys my senior year, and
That must be nice.
yeah, it was a vibe, dude. I hooped. One thing I do regret is I didn't make a senior tape. Um, I wish I
Oh,
would have
that
done
was
that because
nasty.
I was getting active. I was getting
Yeah.
very active. I wish I would have made one of those, but it was just loyalty's always been my biggest thing, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, I committed, and that was where I was going to go, and yeah, that's how it worked out. I ended up playing my senior year, and then going. I did not early enroll, so I went in the summer. So yeah,
Nice. So you get to ODU, like you said, it was Bobby Wilder at the time. Uh, Bobby ends up getting fired after you were there for what, a year or 2 years?
2 years. My true
Uh-huh.
freshman year, and my redshirt freshman year.
Gotcha. And so what is it like to go through a coaching change? Like in terms of how stylistically it's different or just anything that you can kind of pick up on?
It's different at every level. I'd say
Yeah,
that much. I've seen both. Um,
true.
but at the end of the day, I think that you just have to look at it as opportunity.
Hmm.
I'm big on opportunity versus obstacle, and it's just
Yeah,
kind of your outlook on how you look at things. And I saw it as an opportunity, and Bobby was good to me,
yeah,
and that staff was good to me, and they like before when we had exit meetings with Bobby, whenever he got fired, he told me like I could take football as far as I want to take it, and I could do whatever I want to do with it, and I appreciate that for him for having that vision. But it's yeah, you just gotta see it as an opportunity, and I think in times like that, you need to sit back and reflect and kind of see what you've been doing, even at a young age like that. Like when he got fired, I was probably 19 or something.
yeah, yeah.
You gotta just take a step back and reflect and kind of think about what you've been doing well, what you haven't been doing well, um, how people see you, and like what kind of first impressions you want to make. And I think ultimately that helps you grow. Um, and I think I did grow. And Coach Ronnie came in, and it was, I mean, we didn't have a season his first year,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
um, I immediately saw differences whenever he came in and how he operated. Like he does things a different way, and I love it. I love the way that he operates and the way that he handles his business. Um, and yeah, we can get more into Coach Ronnie, but it was different. It was uh, coaching changes are just it's a weird time. It's kind of like limbo.
Yeah.
You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how it's gonna happen. You don't know when it's gonna happen. You kind of just got to handle your business and act accordingly. And then whenever that change is made, you got to be ready to buy in. And that's what I did. So,
Nice.
So, in today's day and age of college football, we see a lot of guys enter the transfer portal, especially when there's coaching changes or when a guy gets a lot of stock in his name at smaller schools like ODU. Did you ever consider entering the transfer portal at ODU?
no, that was it was a bigger thing towards the back end of my career when
For
I was
sure.
making
Yeah.
a name for myself at ODU.
Hmm.
Um, no, I didn't consider it because, like I said from the jump, it was always about loyalty for me,
Yeah.
and that was what was important to me. And from when I was a high schooler, like I knew if I was going to go to the league, I was going to do it out of Old Dominion, and I knew that I
Hmm.
could because I saw that potential from early on. And that's a decision that I made, and I'll forever be grateful for because that's just like those are just kind of like the legacy decisions that you make.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and that's just how I look at it. I don't think like I think every situation is different, and the transfer portal can be used as a good tool. Uh, but for me personally, I wanted to ride it out at ODU, and Coach Ronnie was awesome, and he was a fantastic coach. Still is a fantastic coach. And that wasn't something that I was ready to leave, and I wasn't ready to leave ODU either. I had opportunities, like I did have calls and
Yeah, I was
whatnot.
gonna say I didn't know how much you could go into it without getting anybody in any trouble.
No, it's okay. It was more little stuff like a recruiting coordinator following you on Twitter
Yeah.
Hmm.
or stuff like that. I had a buddy who worked in the SEC at a school, and he had called me after my senior year. Well, I had another year of eligibility
Hmm.
with the COVID year and all that, and he asked me if I wanted to go to their school, and I was like, "Nah, I'm going to the league." I'm sure I could have made some NIL cash or something like that, but it would have been. I think that would have been a really poor decision.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I didn't really consider it. I had buddies who did it, and at first I was salty about it. Like I
Yeah.
didn't really. It was the whole deal. But now looking back at it, it really was never that deep. For
Hmm.
me, it was like it was that deep for me to stay. But guys who wanted to leave, like it was never that deep. Like if that's what your prerogative is, then you go ahead and do that, and it'll
Hmm.
be okay. Uh, but yeah, no, I was always gonna stick it out with ODU.
All right.
Oh, we're really happy you did
Yeah.
because it was a joy being around you every day, man, for sure.
Yeah. And then
No doubt, I appreciate that.
speaking of ODU, we always ask, I mean, we've only had one other person on. We've had Devin, remember Devin Brandt? He was on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
We asked him what was his greatest or funniest moments at ODU, or just a story you got.
Story I got.
Make sure not
I
to get
think I
anyone in trouble with any of the stories.
Yeah, it might not shed great light, but a wallet was stolen in the locker room one time. I honestly forget the name of the guy who took it. Uh, but that's
Random, bro.
this besides the point. You guys might. A
I don't
wallet.
remember at all, do you?
Nah, I don't really remember a story like that.
Oh, this was Bobby Wilder era,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
Makes
This
a little
was
more sense.
was it? Yeah, I think it was Bobby Wilder era.
Okay.
Um, a wallet was stolen in the locker room, and coaches were ticked, obviously. Uh, and it was a whole deal. Nobody would come forward. So they're like, okay, we're going to do dawn patrol every day until we can find out who took it.
Oh my.
And we're going to take away your locker room privileges as well. So the upstairs and the weight room, which was the same as it is now,
Hmm.
they just put tape squares all around the entire top part of that weight room. And every tape square had a number, and you had a bag, like a travel bag with all of your football stuff in it. This was during spring ball. Um, Travel bag with all your stuff in it. You had to wash all your clothes. You had to have a space on the ground as your locker, and then you had to go to dawn patrol every morning at 5:30 and do this stuff. Oh my! You want to talk about people crashing out? People were
That sounds
crashing.
awful, man.
People were crashing out. Like we're doing bear crawls across the field. We're doing up downs at every hash. Like things like that. And then that would be at 5:30. And there was one day because it was like a 3 day stretch. I know it sounds like it was a long time. It was 3 days
It's
because you
three
can only
days
do it
too
for you can
long.
only do it for so long. Yeah, 3 days
Yeah.
too long for sure. Uh, and I think it was the third day we had a spring ball practice after the dawn patrol. So we had the dawn patrol, and then that was at 5:30. And then I think at like probably 11 we had a spring ball practice, and then that was it. Like nobody was going through that again. Like I think the person came forward. The coach was going on talking about how we're gonna get fingerprints done with the police on the wallet. Like
Whoa.
this is a whole deal now. Like the wallet probably
What?
had no money in it. Like, what are you going on about? But that was that was nutty. That was really, really nutty. Um, Now I guess that's kind of more of a negative story.
I was gonna say.
Did they ever find out who took the wallet?
I think they did. I just can't remember his name. Um, he wasn't with us for very long, so
I bet, yeah.
he was a JUCO transfer from Seattle, and he played defensive end. I really don't remember his name though. Bro, that year we had. I'm not even kidding. We had 40 JUCO transfers.
Yeah, no, that was
Wow.
Bobby's thing. We always brought in the JUCO
I
guys.
was saying I wasn't there for Bobby Wilder. I was only there for Ronnie, so I've only ever heard
Bro,
stories of the
we
Bobby
had
Wilder era.
40 JUCO transfers,
That's pretty
and
crazy.
that was the beginning of the end for Ronnie. I mean, not Ronnie, Bobby. Um, but we had some hits out of the
For
JUCO
sure.
deal.
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
definitely had some hits. Um, but yeah, that was insane. If we're
It's a
talking
pretty good
about
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
positive
funny
stuff,
story.
uh,
I
I'll,
know you got a funny Rhino story or something.
oh,
Oh
Rhino.
man, don't.
Um, Funny to me. I don't know if it'll be funny to him, but
Can I first guess what this story is?
yeah,
Does it
go ahead.
have to do with a true freshman?
If that true freshman was Dan Ogundipe,
Yep.
then
I already know it.
yeah.
That was my first week working for the offensive line. That was a very, very interesting
Bro,
awakening and a welcome. But
he was
go
going.
ahead. Please
He
go
was.
ahead. This is a good story.
He was essentially. I don't remember the context of how it got to this point. I think he was just Dan was just kind of on his own deal.
It was just Dan being Dan.
Dan being Dan,
Yeah,
and then Rhino just gets fed up and
bro.
just starts going on about, "Do you understand me? Do you understand me?" And it was just in the moment, I was just like, but um.
All right, let's go practice.
The best part about it was when he came in the next day and his voice was completely shot.
Yeah.
And like literally for 2 or 3 days. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Shout out to Rhino. That was
Dude,
hilarious.
it got to he wouldn't. It was so funny because it went exactly how you say. He just kept screaming, "Do you understand me?" And it's like in Dan's face, and Dan isn't responding to him. He's just staring at him. And you and all the other leaders in the room were like,
It's like
"Dude, like answer him!" Like you guys were just so
say
fed
something, like
up that he was
please.
just saying, "You like, can you like respond to him?" And he was
Yeah.
just. I don't even remember what he responded with, but I
He
always
was
think
just
of
chilling.
that.
It was
And
literally it was Rhino right here, Dan right here, me right
yes,
here. And I
yes.
was just like
And I was
I
across the room just looking at them
was just like,
screaming in between
gosh,
you. And I
this is
was like,
awful.
dude, this is my first week here. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Yeah, no, I think of that all
That
the
was
time.
hilarious. That was
It was pretty
hilarious.
funny. It was,
Um,
like you said, I'm sure Rhino didn't find it funny, but I thought it was pretty funny.
he might find it funny now though.
Probably,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, two very great stories. You obviously sounds like you had a great time at ODU. I know the last year didn't go exactly how you or any of us wished it would have gone, but you went on to bigger and better things. Can you please tell us how your draft process went?
Yeah, for sure. The draft process is a long one. It's treacherous at times, but it's also, I mean, one of the best times of your life because
Mhm.
you've worked so hard to get to this point and gone through a 1-11 season, gone through starting 1-5 and ripping off five straight, 1-6 and ripping off five straight and going to a bowl game. And
Yes.
yeah, senior year wasn't great, but um, took a lot of hard work and effort to get to that point. But basically, I went to Dallas for my pre-draft process at the Sports Academy. Um, and Duke Manyweather is who I did my pre-draft process with, offensive line guy. And that was good. They did a great job there. And it's just kind of everything you'd expect. You got the nutritionist, you got all the cognitive stuff, you got all the speed and agility training, and then you also have offensive line training on top of it with some strength training, getting ready for the bench and all that. So you do that for a couple months. And then you leave and go to the Senior Bowl. If you're a Senior Bowl guy, if you're not, then you stay. If you're an East West guy, you go there. If you're a Hula Bowl guy, you go there. Um, I went to the Reese Senior Bowl,
Mhm.
and I went there, and that you want to talk about treacherous. That is nasty, nasty work, but it's also kind of a whirlwind because it's something you also work hard for. You want to go to that
Mhm.
bowl, you want to go compete against the best and put your best work out there and battle. But it's really not even like the practices. Yeah, I hadn't practiced and put on pads in a couple months. Then you go out there and it's first day of camp banging because everyone's trying to go get paid.
And they were putting you
And
at center.
yeah, I was at center. I was at guard. I hadn't played. I played like one game at guard in college. I didn't take a single rep at tackle the whole
Yeah.
week at senior bowl.
Yeah.
Um, so I went there, and center's cool. I like center, and I like guard too. So I mean, that's kind of always been my thing, being able to play them all. And they were
Mhm.
gonna put that to the test, and I passed that test, so that was cool.
Mhm.
But um, the physical stuff is the physical stuff. Practice is indie, 9-on-7, team, one-on-ones, all that stuff. And you got all the NFL scouts standing behind you, watching you do that stuff, and they're watching you like a hawk. And you got to be on your P's and Q's, but that's what you prepare for. So that's that. But it's really whenever you get done with that and you got meetings, and then you have basically speed dating with teams, is essentially what it is. And they have a huge convention center in Mobile uh, in use for it. And every single team has like a booth set up, and you have like a chaperone who's working with you, and you're in a group. You are in that group, and you go to a table, and you're sitting at said table for probably, I want to say it was like 3 hour to 4 hour periods. You sit at that table, and then basically teams will come and grab you, is how it works. And you have a spiel that you give, uh, kind of your background. Um, and you give that to every team. Like you talk to, if you're lucky, you talk to every team. If you talk to less, you talk to less. It is what it is. Um, I want to say I talked to throughout the entire process. I talked to every single team, but um, at that at the Senior Bowl, I want to say it couldn't have been every team, but it might have been. I don't remember. Nonetheless, you talk to every team and you're saying the same thing over and over and over again. Like I'm from Waxhaw, North Carolina. I'm went to
Mhm.
ODU. Da 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 da. And then every team has their own process about going about things. Some teams will pull up clips from your games, like the Giants and Mike Kafka pulled up clips from my games and like, tell me what you're doing here. Tell me what the play call was, this and that, this and that. Other teams will have you draw up your favorite play. That's something you have to be prepared for. You draw up your favorite play, and um, you have to explain it like all 11 players what's going on. My play of choice was GT counter. We called it plug and anchor.
Mhm.
We ripped Coastal for like 350 yards that
That
year
was a fun
with
game.
that
Yeah.
play. Um,
Mhm.
that was the play that I used to run. And then if they would ask me about my plays, I'd just give them the rundown on what my responsibility was and what I was doing. Um, so yeah, it's exhausting. You're going through this for hours and hours and hours on end, and it's exhausting. Some teams have asked guys to recite the alphabet backwards. Um, Steve Hutchinson with the Seahawks had some guys do that, I'm pretty sure. Uh, but yeah, it was exhausting, but it also wasn't that bad because it's, you know what you're gonna say.
Mhm.
If you're on your P's and Q's, you know your ball, then you should be good. Um, it's just not great if you're not good in those kinds of situations. And then that's the Senior Bowl. You go, you do that, and then the combine is similar, not as hard because you're not practicing and whatnot, but you're
Mhm.
doing just as much of the one-on-one meetings with the scouts
The politicking.
and yeah, big time politicking. I feel like the combine was more of a quizzing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, they were definitely quizzing you more, wanting to see and test your just your ability to retain information. And then the thing about the combine is you also have formal interviews too. So I had formals with Cleveland and San Francisco, and yeah, that one's a little more intense. It's not crazy long, but basically the speed dating version is it's a bunch of stuff going on. There's a bunch of teams out there and a bunch of players. Um, the formal interviews, you go up to a suite at Lucas Oil and you're in there with the GM, the owner, all the coaches, all that stuff. And they're pulling up your tape and asking you what you were doing here, what was going on, asking you personal questions. You've seen some of the videos
Yeah.
and how they grill some guys. It's just like that. Uh, but I mean, I was a guy who I was comfortable with who I was. I knew what I was capable of, and I was comfortable with talking ball. So I wasn't stressing too crazy, but there was normal levels of nervousness. But overall, it went well. Combine went well. I wish I would have ran a little bit better, but it wasn't bad. Like it didn't hurt me at all. I jumped well. I did my that pro day. I did my drills well. I did my drills
Mhm.
well at the combine, and then yeah, I ended up getting drafted on the third day of the NFL draft, first pick of the fourth round. Um,
Traded up for?
Yeah, I'm really happy you brought that up because it's a little weird. It might sound a little weird to say since we're pretty much the same age and stuff, but like me and I'm sure everyone else at that facility were very proud of you and the work you put in to get to that moment and to see your name on the TV, the first pick of day three in the NFL draft. One, did you know it was gonna be the Saints? Like, did you have a feeling? And two, could you just give us like the overall just emotion and how that day went for you?
yeah, I had first of all, I appreciate it. I appreciate that for sure. Two, I had no idea it was going to be the Saints. I talked to the Saints one time. I talked to Doug Marrone and Pete Carmichael at the Senior Bowl speed dating thing,
Mhm.
and they took me through one of their plays, Ride 35 Bob, and that's what he taught me, and I had to recite back the combos and all that stuff. And that was all I heard from them. Um, Sorry, my dog's on something, but no, I wasn't expecting to go there. And then essentially, I honestly expected to go on day two,
I was
late,
gonna
late,
say,
late day two.
did you think you
Mhm.
were gonna go earlier?
I thought I was gonna go relatively around where I went. I thought I was gonna be in the 90s, but that didn't happen, obviously. And then before day three even started, my agent had called me and he was like, the Saints are about to trade up and grab you. Um, I was obviously super excited. I was there with my family. I had
Mhm.
a little thing on day two with my boys and some of the coaches and my family, and then day three it was just me and my close family and my wife. And yeah, it was awesome, dude. It was kind of a surreal moment. Getting that call and talking to the front office and obviously seeing your name in the NFL draft and hearing it be called and all that stuff. It was sweet, man. It was everything you ever want being a football player, wanting to go to the NFL. It was a beautiful moment. And then kind of right from there, it's immediately back to work. I mean, you have a couple weeks, but you go to New Orleans and then it's bang, 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 bang. And but yeah, being able to just kind of soak in that moment with my family and um be appreciative and be grateful and also be able to look back and be proud of what I had done and the work that I had put in. It was awesome. It was you can never be anything but grateful to be able to be taken in the NFL draft. There's no doubt about that.
That was definitely awesome to witness, man. How do you're in the league now? How do you feel overall your rookie year went in your first couple of years in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I personally I've been injured way more than I'd like. Unfortunately, it's just kind of the nature of it. It's just kind of how it's gone. But there's also like there's been highs and lows. Like I've been able to start NFL football games and that's been awesome. Like my first real I was on special teams and stuff my rookie year and that was what it was, but my first real burn was versus Houston on the road my rookie year. Ryan Ramczyk went out with a concussion in the fourth quarter and I get thrown in to go play right guard. We moved our guard to tackle. I played right guard in a 2-minute drill to go win it. in Houston. Um, and that was my first real real playing time, and it was awesome. Um, we didn't win, unfortunately. The drive did not. We didn't win. I wanted it might have been two drives, honestly. I can't really remember, uh, but I think it was one. Um, but yeah, it's awesome. It's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. It's competition in the truest sense of the word. Um, but that was kind of how that went. Then I finished that year on IR. I got a shoulder surgery that year. I had tore my shoulder in camp, but I played with it throughout the year, and then I got to the end of the year and I wasn't starting, and I had gone to talk to my coaches. I was like, "Hey, should we get this done now so I can be back for OTAs because I know I'm going to have an opportunity to start and whatnot." Um, so that's what we did. We went ahead and rolled with that, and then um, OTAs came around and I was back healthy. I was rolling with the guys, and camp came around, and then I tore my calf. So my second year, I got hurt in camp, but then I was kind of going back and forth with my boy Lucas Patrick. He would get injured, I would get injured with like little stuff, and he'd start, I'd start, he'd start, I'd start. Um, but I started 6 games that year. My first start was um, at Kansas City on the road Monday night. That was an electric feeling, obviously. Uh, just one being Monday Night Football, two Arrowhead, all that stuff. But it's awesome. Being able to play football in the NFL is awesome. It's the greatest game ever. Ultimate team sport. And if you're a competitor, being able to go out there and compete at the highest level is all you ever want to do.
Yeah.
And that's what's been so awesome about it. Yeah, I've been hurt and I'm rehabbing right now, and that is what it is. But at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do to replace competing at the highest level,
Mhm.
and that's what's so beautiful about the NFL is it is the utmost competition. And whether you're competing with the defense or whether you're competing with the guys around you, one way or another, you're competing, and you're going to be forced to compete whether you like it or not. And it definitely takes you somewhere, and it forces you to grow. So it's been sweet.
Nice. And then one final question before you get out of here. We really appreciate you taking the time. What or who is a player that you were kind of starstruck either seeing or playing against?
Seeing or playing against.
Or maybe
Um,
even like your welcome to the NFL moment.
Welcome to the NFL moment. Um, I think the whole first time you're in the building and all that, like being around a lot of the veterans like Cam Jordan, Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, guys like that, like seeing them, Alvin Kamara, like all of them, um, guys that you had watched while you were coming up and seeing all those guys. And then obviously my first start playing against Chris Jones, um, that's different. And then being able to watch Pat Mahomes play live and in color, like
Yeah.
he's different. And just seeing all that stuff it's definitely crazy. But yeah, that first day in the building when you're seeing all the vets and all that, it's definitely like, yeah, we're here. Let's roll.
I bet.
That's awesome, man. Well, we really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you being here with us. We hope everything goes well with the rehab and you come back stronger than ever, bro.
Yep.
No doubt. I hope so too. I appreciate you guys for having me. And go Narcs, maybe.
Yeah.
Go Narcs.
Go
You want to
Narcs.
plug any of your social medias or anything?
I think it's all just at Nick Saldiveri,
Nick
to be
Saldiveri.
honest.
Keep it
Perfect,
simple.
man.
Instagram, TikTok. I honestly post on TikTok more than I do IG. So
Nice.
that's that.
All
Well,
right.
we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone watching. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Follow us at on TikTok and Twitter at PM Football Podcast. Sal, thank you once again. It was awesome talking with you, and we hope we get to do this again.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. We'll definitely do it
Yep.
again.
All right. Have a good
Appreciate it.
one.
Have a
All
good
right,
one.
boys. Later.